Hello and welcome to the Market Wrap on BloombergQuint Live. Let's take a look at today's session and how the week has panned out. Let's first take a look at the Nifty itself. The Nifty did manage to end with a slight positive bias, but take a look at some of the counters. The big standout performers were the counters which actually did manage to be laggards in the recent trade. So counters like Z Entertainment was up almost 17%. Bharti Infratel, which has been beaten black and blue, was up almost 7%. IndusInd Bank, Tata Steel, JSW Steel, Vedanta, the entire metal pack did manage to rally on the news coming out from China and the positive PMI data that came out. So again, Hindalco, Bajaj Finserv, after a big drop over the past few days, has managed to move up in trade. Obviously, remember we spoke about the big Bajaj Finance QIP that is happening. On the losing end, Yes Bank, after giving off some of the gains from yesterday, and some of the defensive counters are slightly weak. So you had Tata Consultancy Services, which was down in trade, Asian Paints, which was down in trade, and a couple of these auto names which came out with the numbers were slightly weak in today's trade. Let's also take a look at how the Nifty 500 or the broader market did manage to pan out in trade. It was flat in trade, but Dish TV, because of the move that we saw on Z Entertainment, was up almost 30%. IFCI, Z Entertainment, Motilal Oswal was surprisingly up in trades. Rail Vikas Nigam, some of these public sector banking stocks are doing extremely well. On the losing end, you had G Power India, Dr. Lal Pathlab, Just Dial, as well as Max India, some of these counters which were slightly weak in trade. But how did the week pan out as far as the Nifty is concerned? Let's first take a look at those counters which have actually managed to move. So the Nifty on this week itself was up almost close to 1%, but the outperformers included Z Entertainment because of today's move. Because of yesterday's moves, there was a Yes Bank. The surprise entry was State Bank of India, and which has rallied significantly post the numbers. Infosys, surprisingly, is on the gainers list. And on the losing end, you had counters like an ICICI Bank, which has actually been falling post the numbers. Mahindra and Adani Ports and Titan were some of the counters which actually lagged in trade. Now, let's take a look at some of the events which we need to highlight what happened during the entire week. The big, obviously, Monday was a holiday because of Diwali, so we'll start with Tuesday. After the knock by DGCA in terms of grounding some of the aircraft, Indigo placed a new order with Airbus, and post that the counter did manage to rally almost 7%. What's brewing in the telecom space? COAI writes to the government on the AGR, in which on Wednesday Reliance Jio opposed to the COAI on the letter to the government. So the telecom stocks were under focus. The other news, big news, was that Vodafone Idea is said to have warned lenders that it may not be able to repay, and that was a Bloomberg story. Idea no doubt came back and gave a clarification against it. The big move on Thursday was the Yes Bank. They've claimed that they've received a $1.2 billion binding offer. The results are there today, so we'll come out to know who the buyer is and at what price. Altico Capital, the lenders failed to find a buyer, so there is still trouble on the real estate front of the market. Couple of other news that happened during this week. First of all, the core sector contracts the most in 14 years. So on the economic front, not all is well. A couple of results also that we need to speak about. But apart from that, SEBI has asked the banks to disclose the divergence within 24 hours. So SEBI is becoming much more aggressive as far as some of the banking institutional is concerned. Today, the monthly auto sales, most of them came out. They are showing some signs of recovery, not the most as far as the numbers are concerned. Dr. Reddy's came out with numbers. A one-time gain aided the numbers for Dr. Reddy. Yes Bank is yet to report the number, but overall Dr. Reddy was slightly weak. Let's also take a look at how the F&O space has panned out. It's the first day of the new series. 11,900 is where maximum open interest build-up is there on the call side. So they're writing at the 11,900 and the 12,000 level, and at lower levels from levels of 11,600 to 11,800, the put writers are writing. At this point of time, it seems that the put writers or the bulls are much more in control of the market rather than the bears. But finally, we go into next week with a lot of results. So let's see which are the key results or the events that we need to watch out for. The second quarter earnings for HDFC will come out, and it will be very important to track the commentary in terms of what's happening for the real estate market. On Tuesday, the Market India Services Composite PMI data, both these things will come out. So that's on the economic front. Couple of results that also come out. Tech Mahindra, Titan on the second quarter update has already indicated that there could be weakness, so a weak number could be coming in from Titan this time around. On Wednesday, There is Cipla and Tata Steel which will report numbers. Again, interesting to see what Cipla will do after what Dr. Reddy's did today. On Thursday, you have BPCL, Power Grid, Sun Pharma and UPL among the larger companies that will come out with numbers. And finally, on a couple of other numbers on Friday, Aisha Gale and Tech Mahindra will be the numbers that will come out on Friday. But finally on Saturday, it will be NTPC which will be reporting the numbers. So that's the entire week in a snapshot for you. But with that, it's a wrap on this edition of the market. But there's lots more coming up. So stay tuned to BloombergQuint.